Hi guys, back with another review of Scream. This time reviewing Scream 2. I have to say, even though I know a lot of people like the sequel, it's kind of my least favourite. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like all the Scream sequels, but yeah, this is probably my least favourite because, yeah, there is some good moments in this movie, but, once those good moments pass, there's a lot of slow moments as well. Also, yeah, what they do with Dewey and Gale, they basically like form a relationship in this movie. Like they get closer and stuff. So yeah, that's not really that entertaining. I mean, Randy, like his character coming back, like he's definitely the most entertaining part of the movie, definitely. And yeah, spoilers, they kill him off with the killer in this one, which sucks. Yeah, because he kind of says something that kind of makes the killer angry, and that will get more into. Because first, I just want to talk about what's going on with Sidney. So basically, Sidney, also Randy, are both in college now. She's just trying to move on with her life. She's kind of got a boyfriend already, which. Because this movie is basically set 1 year after the first movie, right? And this movie basically came a year after from. Because the first movie came out in 1996, this one came out in 1997, so. And for a movie that came out so fast, I have to give it this. It's actually pretty. It's a good sequel for a movie that came out like a year later after the first movie, which is crazy. Because yeah, it's just my problem is this movie has too many boring parts. Like there'll be like a really good scene, and then for 20 minutes boring parts, then a really good scene, 20 minutes boring parts, and I'm not sure if this movie is like 2 hours, something like that. We're now on 50 something minutes. Yeah. So yeah, this is the thing what I wish that the Scream movies did. Like they kind of cut down some of the one time, so it would get less boring scenes. Also cut out some of those Dale and I mean Dewey and Gale scenes. Yeah, I like those characters, but not as much as like Randy and some of the other characters we have in the series. I do like Sidney, but yeah, we don't really have like you know Stewie or Billy. I mean, there is a kind of a character like Stewie, but he doesn't really like Stewie until like the very end, and Stewie's still better anyway. So yeah, it's just that Randy was the most entertaining part of this movie, so it kind of sucks what happens to him. Yeah, that they basically kill him off. Yeah, because should I also reveal who the killer is yet? Maybe not yet, because they kind of made. I'm just gonna say who they tried to frame it on, and also it wasn't as simple as the one in the first movie, like where you just knew that it was either Billy or Stewie or both of them. In this movie, they didn't really make it that obvious. I mean, they kind of introduced a character who wasn't really in the first movie. Cotton, the person who was supposed to have killed Sidney's mother, but actually, he didn't. We found out that it was Billy instead. Yeah. And now he gets released from, prison, and he tries to go to Sydney to get some kind of fame off her because after what happened with Sydney fighting off the killers, she kind of got a bit of fame from that even though she's still in grieving stage as well, realizing what happened and all of her friends died and everything. Yeah, knowing that her boyfriend killed her mother and all that. Yeah, and then Cotton, he just wants to try to get some fame off of that. I mean, he did get a little bit of fame, being wrongfully accused by Sidney, but when he actually comes into the movie of the second one, I guess he tries to do something to get some fame off Sidney, but Sidney doesn't really want to help him. And that kind of puts him in like if you just got out of jail and then would you basically go to the person who basically put you in jail and then what do you expect to happen? He basically gets put in handcuffs because he kind of seems threatening basically. Yeah, but he gets proven innocent anyway because they haven't really got anything to hold on him. It's funny that it comes at the same time when there's like a new killer on the loose and they've already killed like a few people because you do get introduced to these students. So one's played by Sarah Michelle Gellar. Yeah, Buffy basically. Yeah, I kind of wish she was more in the cast because there is like one scene where all the cast are together, and that's a really fun scene. When they talk about movie sequels, basically, aliens and all them, and how they can actually be better than the original. But for me, this isn't one of them. I'm sorry, like they'll never beat the first one, and even though I really like one of the other sequels, like yeah, they'll just never beat the first one basically for me because I don't really have those two characters that made the first one even better. Yeah, and that classic opening, which wasn't really able to beat in this sequel, but it was still pretty funny though. You know, with Will Smith's wife, Jada. Yeah, that was a that was a funny opening. Yeah, basically everyone's like just celebrating because basically everything that happened in the first movie is basically become a movie in the movie called Stab, basically, and everyone's wearing like the ghostface mask. Yeah, in the cinema, which I don't know if that would actually happen in real life. No way. If it's based on a true story, like no way cinemas would let people wear the mask. Like, what if they try to reenact it in the cinemas, which actually ends up happening? Yeah, like basically Jada's character's boyfriend gets stabbed in such a hilarious way, like through the head. Yeah, and then Jada gets killed by the person pretending to be her boyfriend. And then like when she's bleeding, people don't even believe like she's actually dying until she goes up next to the screen and just bleeds out. Basically, yeah, that opening was funny. But yeah. So should I reveal who's actually after Sidney? I mean, I'm just gonna say about the Randy situation with him getting killed off when they're trying to find who the killer is. Yeah, because basically the killer phones. Is it Randy? It's either Gale or Randy or Dewey, because they're all together in that moment. But then Dewey and Gale are trying to find the killer, like where the call's coming from. They keep checking like who's on the phone basically to see, but they don't really find him. And basically the killer kind of gets mad at Randy from what he says, especially about Billy, because, well, spoiler, yeah, I mean, I've already said that from the beginning. The killer is actually Billy's mother and the other student, but yeah. Like one of the cast that we've seen before, but they didn't really make it obvious though, because we do see this other reporter who's following Gale. It seems like she's trying to, get some spotlight from her or something, like guidance, but Gale's just like annoyed of her. But she's actually Billy's mother, trying to get revenge on Sidney because Sidney killed her son. So yeah, and then I guess the other guy is trying to get some fame off it as well, make it look like Sidney was the killer this time or something. Because they did try to say like, would the killer be from basically the ones who survived? It'd be one of the survivors. But yeah, that's how it goes. Basically, it was the mother, Friday the 13th style. Yeah, she was the killer. And the finale was pretty fun. Yeah, it was pretty good. I like the finale. And then other than that, just the student who's trying to be like Stewie, he was a bit entertaining. But yeah, basically the mother basically, well, Billy's mother basically kills him, then tries to kill Sidney, but then backup arrives. But Cotton actually saves the day. Yeah, which is surprising. Actually saves Sidney, and then Sidney kind of finishes off the mother with like the double tap basically, which she does this thing with her mouth like boom, like a gangster or something. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's how the movie ends. So yeah, the mother as the killer, not as good as the reveal with Billy and Stewie, but it was, I guess, kind of more surprising because you wasn't really expecting that. Yeah. But then after this movie, oh god, I'm not even gonna say it anyway because you start to notice a pattern with what they do with the sequels. But yeah, yeah, I like this movie. It has some good moments, but there's a lot of boring moments as well where I'm just not really caring. I didn't even really say about the boyfriend, like Sidney's boyfriend, who they tried to make look like it was the killer, but not really, especially at the end. Because even Sidney thought like, wait, is he the killer? But no, and basically, the Stewie clone just kills him basically to show that he wasn't the killer. Yeah. But yeah, this sequel is just nah. It's not really one of my favorites. It's probably my least favorite. But like I said, I still like all the movies. This is just like average for me. Yeah. If only there's a lot of good more moments than the other sequels like what they have. And I guess I'll talk about Scream 3 next, which I guess I'd say that's like the most underrated one out of the 4 films that are out right now. Yeah. So I can't wait to review that one. So yeah, guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.